Alright, what's up guys? So my name is Douglas here with DougsterBob.com. Better fix that. Looks good, yeah. Alright, whatever. So right now, one of my goals for 2020 is to get all of my bike reviews that I published as like a blog post, and I want to create them as a YouTube video, and so that way I can just post them like on YouTube and other video forms. So right now I'm just running through my current posts and making some videos. I made about 4 of them yesterday, and my handy dandy mic was not plugged in, so it sounds awful. So now I'm redoing them. The first one I did was the kink gap, but I think I'm just going to scroll down here and look at this, the Fly Proton. So it's the 2019 Fly Proton Freecoaster. That's the one we're going to do right now. So if you like to watch YouTube videos instead of like read websites or things like that, that's kind of why I'm doing this, is so that I have more content out there to help newer BMX riders get into the sport. Because a lot of things are really confusing, like what does Chromoly mean? What's the difference in sealed and unsealed? Chromoly versus high tensile seal, things like that. So that's kind of why I'm working so hard to make all this content, because my goal with this website is to bring more people into the sport. And I think ultimately you get more people into the sport, you get them to fall in love with the sport, and it'll really grow BMX as a whole once we're able to do that. So I'm doing my part here, making these reviews, and let's get into it. So the 2019 Fly Proton Freecoaster is a super good bike. I reviewed like over 100, and this is one of the better ones. Fly has such good quality, like in the parts, their aftermarket parts, and even their complete bikes. They I don't know why, honestly, I don't know why they're so cheap. So like the quality to price ratio is super good, where you look at like a fit, for example, and a decent fit, or mid-level fit, let's say, costs around $500 or $450, and you don't get like full chromoly, you don't get double wall rims, you don't get things like that. And with Fly, you pay whatever you pay, you get an extremely good amount of quality for. And I'm not just saying that, like some bikes I review are complete junk, but this one's super good. So it's got full chromoly. It's not under $500, which is something I touch on a lot, is that I really like when brands are able to get a complete bike for less than $500, because I feel like that's a good price point for people and parents to look at. And they're like, oh, you know, like let's buy Jimmy a bike for Christmas, and they're like, oh, this one's over $500, it's not very good, or it's too much. And if you can get quality bikes for less than $500, you're going to get more people into the sport. They're going to stick with it longer because the bike's going to last longer. If they get a cheap bike, it's going to fall apart, and they're going to say BMX sucks, BMX is too expensive, things like that. So I truly believe that getting good bikes for less than $500 is one of the best ways to get more people into the sport. This Fly Proton does have double wall rims, super plus. It comes with pegs, comes with sealed bearings, 3-piece cranks, and a free coaster. So like I said before, it has really good quality. Full chromoly bike, double wall rims is like everything I look for when I talk about a bike and like talk about if it's any good or not. There's even gussets on the frame. If you don't know what gussets are, they're like little pieces of metal that are welded on right here where the head tube and the top tube and down tube connect, and the extra gusset just adds like an extra layer of protection. So this one has a top and bottom gusset. Super sick, good job. That keeps it from cracking right here, which is where you have most of the problem with frames. I'm going to read the Fly Proton Overview that was written by Fly. It's what they give out to the distributors, and let's get into it. Ready? The Fly Proton has been refined for 2019 just like the rest of the Fly mid-range bike line. The fork has been upgraded to a hydroformed one-piece steer tube. This bike now comes with treble headset, a stronger 510 chain, bigger bars, a taller standover height, improving the overall look and feel. The cranks have been upgraded to the clean treble Bueno cranks. The 2019 Proton now comes equipped with 4 pegs and a shorter 13-inch rear end and shorter 28mm offset forks. That's geared more towards street riders out there. They paid a lot of money for somebody to write that, and it's really good. I just want to touch on like the 13-inch back end. The longer the back end, the more control you're going to have with like manuals and bunny hops and ice picks and things like that, where the shorter rear end is going to be really responsive and it's going to loop out easier. So both things kind of have pros and cons, but for like a smaller rider to try and progress in street, a shorter back end is a good go. You just might loop out a little more. So this bike comes in flat black and gloss trans dark blue. I love both of these colors. The flat black looks sick. It's got gum tires, which is pretty cool. And then the dark blue is just a really, really nice blue. It's kind of the theme of like my website and everything is a darkish blue, not this dark, but really nice looking colors. So I'm going to read through the specs. This bike's a full 4130 chromoly, full chromoly forks, full chromoly bars, and then the treble alloy double wall rims. That's good. Like I said, double wall rims are awesome. They last, they don't bend. Single wall rims bend and are no good. Even for a beginner, I don't recommend single wall rims at all. It comes with Fly Rubin graphite pedals, Fly Proton tripod seat, so it's not a pivotal. Pivotals are just quicker, they look cleaner, things like that. But a really good bonus of this bike is that it comes at 24.9 pounds stock. So I remember when I started, like 25 pounds was the goal of a good bike. So like I'd buy my first bike, like a DK Reaction was probably 29, things like that. And I took every cut I could to get that weight down close to 25. Like I'd get seats without padding and just, it was ridiculous, honestly. But anyway, so it's super cool that these complete bikes are coming around 25 pounds. That way, if you do take any cuts to get the bikes lighter, you'll get it down to like 23 pounds, which is incredible. The frame specs to me are something that's super important to get out to a new rider. That way you understand what you're getting, right? Like you need to know what the standover height is and what the chainstay length is and things like that. So I already touched on the 13-inch chainstay. This is I'd say it's still long, but it's not as long. Like the Cult Devotion's at 13.6. This one's at 13. Really short chainstay is like 12 and a half. So in my opinion, this is a little bit longer and it does give you more control, but it's not extremely long. So it's a perfect medium for riders who are already like established, have a decent bag of tricks, and know what they want to do with BMX. For a beginner rider, this probably isn't the best bike. It's too high of quality, I'd say. Let's see. So yeah, the price is just over 500. So like I said before, they can't get it below the 500. There's too much quality into it, but it is only 550. And I wish it was under 500, but hey, I don't run the company. It's a super high quality bike. It's even got 48 spline 3-piece cranks, which is incredible. Like I can't think of many complete bikes that come 48 spline. A lot of them come 8 splines, the alternative, and you have a pinch bolt that hold the cranks in. 48 spline doesn't need a pinch bolt. They're lighter, they're cleaner, and they're stronger. So this is actually really cool. The only bikes that I remember reviewing so far that have 48 splines are like the $8, $9 to $1,000 bikes, the pro level bikes. And so this is really cool. The only low light I could find for this bike was that it doesn't come with hub guards. And that's only from looking at the pictures. I don't think it comes with hub guards. It comes with 4 pegs, but no hub guards. And that's kind of crazy. Hub guards protect your hub, protect your spokes, but the most important thing is honestly they help you slide better. When you're grinding a rail or a ledge and it's catching up against your spokes, it's going to slow you down. It's not going to be as smooth. So part of the section that I do is to buy if you're learning these tricks. And the tricks I listed for this were if you're learning bars, X-up rides, 360s, flowing trails, stair drops, or doing tail whips. And in reality, this bike is good for any level of riding just because it's got such good quality, like the full chromoly, things like that. I could see this bike lasting most riders well over a year. And that's about it. Like, it's a 25-pound bike, full chromoly double wall, really good quality. The only bad thing, like I said, is the hub guards. Doesn't come with hub guards. And if you did want to buy hub guards, you could probably get some for around $80 for all four. If you're only running 2 pegs, obviously that would only be $40. And the other downside is that it's a little more expensive than I'd like to see a bike. But you can't give somebody an incredible quality bike for less than $500. It just doesn't happen. There's very few bikes that I saw that were like that. So yeah, if you have a Fly at all, or like ridden Fly parts, let me know if they're actually any good. Because on paper, this really looks like a super quality bike, but maybe it's full chromoly, but it's like bendable chromoly. It's not very good, things like that. That's something that I'd love to know. That way I can include that into the reviews and help other people out. So let me know if you ride it, what you think about it, and yeah, check out the next one. Thanks. So here's the deal. I'm like 6'4", and finding shirts that fit is near impossible. And that's why I created my tall tees. They fit perfect. They're about 2 inches longer than normal shirts, but they fit tight around the chest and arms. They're the most comfortable shirt you're ever gonna ride in, I guarantee it.